Yo, yo, Primos is back. Let's talk some Raiders ball. What's going on, Raider Nation? It is your guy, Raider Ed, back again with another real Raiders talk. My Primo Nate won't be pulling up today, but that is all right. Raiders Primos is still going to be giving you guys some updates on what is going on with the Las Vegas Raiders, and we are going to preview the Raiders and the Cowboys game going on tomorrow. We also are going to talk about who is on the bubble. You know, we got guys like Meek Robertson. Even Luke Masterson, his name is coming up. Malcolm Kuntz. There's a lot of guys that are fighting for jobs to try to make this 53-man roster. And also, we are going to talk about this Josh Jacobs situation because I am seeing around a lot of social media and a lot of Raider fans dissing on Ziegler and this front office, saying, why are they not trying to sign Josh Jacobs? And that also Josh Jacobs has all the leverage in the world to hold against the Raiders. Well, I'm going to rebuttal to that argument and say, no, Josh Jacobs has no leverage in this contract dispute, and the Raiders have all the leverage, and Josh Jacobs is going to hurt one person and only one person, and that is himself. The Raiders are not going to be hurt by this. They are going to move on in the season without Josh Jacobs. Will they have a successful season doing it? That is a question that remains up to the Raiders. I'm not going to be up here and say that, hey, the Raiders are going to win 10-plus games without Josh Jacobs, because let's keep it real. Josh Jacobs is their superstar, running back, and you just don't go 11-6 or 12-5 without a superstar running back. But let's dive right in. Salute to everyone pulling up. Guys, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We are 27 subscribers away from 400. So please share the link around. Share it with your family, your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your cousins, your cousin's friends, your friends' friends. Like, share it around. Also, like and hit the bell. And let's get into it. I want to start off with who is on the bubble, because there's a lot of positions that we are going to go through that this is a good thing to have. We have possibly so much depth, the most depth I've seen in years with the Raiders. And that is a good thing, because we have to cut guys not solely based that they cannot play football or that they had a bad preseason or they had a bad training camp, but it is mainly we have to cut guys because we don't have enough spots. Now, there's a total of 53. They got to cut it down from 90 to 53. Hence the Brock Purdy rule that you get to keep 3 quarterbacks, with one quarterback not tying into the 53. But let's look at these different positions. We have the running back position, the wide receiver position, the tight end position, the Nathan Moody the O-line positions, the defensive end positions, the defensive tackles, the linebackers, the corners, the safeties. We have a lot of positions to talk about, you guys, and let's dive right in. Let's talk about the running back position. I said that it is going to be, if Josh Jacobs returns, it is going to be Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Amir Abdullah. And then after that, are they going to keep 4? Are they going to keep 5? Well, you got to put Jakob Johnson in there. So then who is that last running back? Is it going to be Brandon Bolden? Is it going to be Damian Williams? Is it going to be Sincere McCormick? I have Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Amir Abdullah, and I have Brandon Bolden, but I'm a flip. I'm in between Brandon Bolden and Damian Williams. Now, the reason why I say Brandon Bolden is because he's a Patriots guy. Josh McDaniels brought him in. He's here for whatever reason. I want him to be cut, but Brandon Bolden, I think, takes that final spot. I think Sincere is going to go to the practice squad. And I wouldn't be shocked, though, if Damian does get a lot of touches this game and he has a crazy game, he may make this roster. But I don't think Damian's going to make this roster. I think he was just a camp body come in, be a veteran presence. But do not be surprised if Damian somehow squeezes to that final spot and they do move on from Brandon Bolden. With the wide receiver position, you have Devontae, you have Jacoby, you got Hunter Renfrow, Trey Tucker. Really, are they keeping 5 receivers or 6 receivers? I think they're going to keep 6. I think it's going to be Tay. It's going to be Myers, Hunter, Trey, DeAndre Carter, and I want to say Cam Sims will take that final spot. He is fighting with Philip Dorsett, who had a really good game against the Rams. He had 4 catches for over 70-plus yards. But Cam Sims did have that red zone touchdown. A big body guy. I believe he stands at 6'4". Let me see. Cam Sims, his measurables, he is 6'5", 27 years old. He is a big body receiver. He's 214 pounds. He showed his ability to go and grab the ball in the red zone. A big body guy. And then you have that tight end position. The final spot is Jesper Horsted or Cole Fotheringham. The reason why Fotheringham has came into the play, Fotheringham has made some really nice catches, has some really nice games in back-to-back weeks against the 49ers and the Rams. But I think it is still going to go to Horsted. Now, I will say I would like to see what Jesper Horsted brings to the table come this week. We haven't seen a lot of Horsted. I feel like we've seen more of Fotheringham. So if there's a way we can, the coaches can see what they have in Horsted, and if Fotheringham outplays Horsted in this final preseason game, then I'm giving it to Fotheringham. I think our tight ends are going to be Michael Mayer at number 1. You got Austin Hooper at number 2, and then you got Cole Fotheringham at number 3. The question will be, do the Raiders keep 4 tight ends? I think they are not. I think there's a lot of more spots that they want to keep in the wide receiver position, I believe is 1. And then the corner position, which we're going to get into. For the O-line, you have Netane Moody, McLennan Curtis, Dalton Wagner, and Alex Bars. And right off the bat, you guys, I'm going to say Netane Moody is the odd man out. McLennan Curtis and Dalton Wagner. We know through the reports that McLennan Curtis and Dalton Wagner, they are a pair, you guys. So Curtis and Wagner, if one of them stays, both of them are going to stay. Now, when Moody had a really bad game against the Rams. In that first drive, he was with the starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. He got beat off of a spin move, and the defender was right in Jimmy Garoppolo's lap. Netane Moody did not have a really good game based off that. And then also watching, he was just not good with his footwork. He was allowing a lot of pressure, a lot of the times the pocket to break down. McLennan Curtis, Dalton Wagner, they had really solid games in back-to-back weeks, and Moody had a really bad game, a game that he, hopefully he can make up for in this game. But if he has another bad game, because Curtis and Wagner are going to get some game time in the game against the Cowboys, and Alex Bars, I think he's just going to be a backup. Moody might go to the practice squad, but I would not be shocked if he is not even brought back. But that is another thing to watch out for. For our defensive end spot, we have Jordan Willis, Adam Plant Jr., and we also have Malcolm Kuntz. Now, Malcolm Kuntz is a sneaky type of defensive end. The reason why he's a sneaky defensive end to me is because during the presser, I believe it was before the 49ers game or it was after the 49ers game, he had a presser, and he looked up there defeated, like he knew he was going to get cut. But then he came out against the Rams, has some really good pressures on the quarterback, had a lot of quarterback hits. He didn't have any sacks. I would love for him to get to the quarterback. Him playing against the Cowboys, if he shows another glimpse of what he did against the Rams, Malcolm Kuntz may be a consideration for that final spot. But then you have Jordan Willis and Adam Plant Jr. Now, Adam Plant Jr. has not been having a really great preseason. He's had a good camp. Coming out of camp, he's Been a guy that a lot of the team and even the defensive players have been hyping around. But during preseason games, Adam Plant Jr.'s name's been really, really quiet. Jordan Willis, his name has been quiet, but if you go and watch the film, Jordan Willis, guys, he is a guy that is going to be supported by Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, and Tyree Wilson as a depth piece. If he's a rotational guy, but he will get it done with those types of starters. Adam Plant, I really hope he steps up his game. But the defensive end spot is another spot, you guys, that I'm going to watch with Jordan Willis, Adam Plant Jr., and Malcolm Kuntz tomorrow. And it's going to be a fun battle to watch between those three. And then we get to our interior pressure with the defensive tackle. We have Matthew Butler, John Jenkins, and Nesta J. Silvera. Now, with Matthew Butler, it's been a hit and miss with him so far. Last season he was injured. Didn't see a lot of game tape on him. And then in this preseason, he's just not really around the football. He's either up, he's either down. With John Jenkins, that guy is a baller. He's getting to the quarterback. He's getting sacks. And then Nesta J. Silvera is another guy that's stopping the run. I wish we could see more out of Jade. The thing is, this last game against the Rams, the whole entire defensive line straight up sucked. You had Matthew Butler, John Jenkins, and Jade out there with some starters, and then even going into the third and fourth quarter with seconds and thirds. And we only got one sack out of the entire game. One sack between the entire defense, really. So this next game, they really have to all step up. This isn't just the defensive ends battling against each other or the defensive tackles battling against each other. All of them are fighting for jobs, all of them as a unit. The entire defensive line unit has to work together, and they have to ball out this final preseason game. Leave it all out there on the field. Shout out to Orlando for pulling up. My guy, Orlando Padilla, what's up, brother? And then we have our linebackers. Let's talk our linebackers, you guys. We got Luke Masterson and Curtis Bolton who are fighting for that final spot. Curtis Bolton does have one forced fumble that he forced this preseason against the Niners. Luke Masterson, for the most part, he's been up and down too. He's good against the run, but in passing situations, he is leaving guys open across the field. He is losing his assignment. Against the Niners, he left the tight end. I think what was his name? I don't remember his name, but he was the only guy. When I was going back watching that Niners game, we only had really one blown coverage, and it was Luke Masterson who had that blown coverage. But he's a young guy going in his second year. I will give the edge to Masterson. But Curtis Bolton, he is balling out. I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to maybe keep them both, but I just don't see it happening. And Curtis Bolton, he may go to the practice squad, but I wouldn't be surprised if some other team takes a flyer on him. Also, cornerbacks, guys, this is where it's going to get interesting. For that final spot, you got Amik Robertson, Tyler Hall, and Sam Webb. They are all battling for that final cornerback spot. And you guys, I got to give it to I want to give it to Tyler Hall, but I want to see more out of Tyler Hall. Now, Sam Webb and Amik Robertson. Sam Webb had a dropped catch right into his arms for an interception. Amik Robertson didn't even catch an interception when he jumped the play beautifully, but he got to come down with the interceptions. Tyler Hall, I haven't heard his name much, but when it comes to the corners and in the passing situation, if you're not hearing your name called, that's usually good things. But Amik Robertson and Sam Webb, those are both guys I was hearing their names a ton, and it wasn't for good reasons. Amik, it was dropped interceptions. It was him giving up plays. Amik has not had, he's basically leaving off what he did last season. He would give up a play, but then he would have a good play. Inconsistency is not what the Raiders want. They want consistent football. And I think Tyler Hall is their best chance at consistent cornerback play for that final spot. Let me see if there's anyone else pulling up. We got 6 in the chat. Thank you guys for pulling up. For our safety position, the final spot, we got Isaiah Palomalu, Roderick Teamer. Both might make it. They might keep Teamer for special teams, but also a rotational guy. Isaiah Palomalu, another guy that had an interception. He had a pick 6. but it was a throw that was right to him. Nice play. He was, being smart. He kept with his assignment, and he got a gift from Stetson Bennett. But Isaiah Palomalu is a guy that I haven't heard his name a lot either, for the good reasons, like not giving up big plays, not missing open tackles, or missing coverages. He's making all the right tackles. He's coming in on blitzes. He made the interception, made a good good return out of it. Roger Teamer's another guy that he's good on tackling support. What I love about this Raiders defense is that I'm not seeing a lot of missed tackles. They are, wrapping up the ball carrier. The rushing defense, a little questionable after the Rams game. But with the passing defense, this is where it's going to be hard, because the passing defense, they held their own, and I want to give it to Isaiah Palomalu, but I think Roger Teamer is going to likely make it, because he can play that special teams. But same with Palomalu. So it is something to keep a watch on. Could they both make it? Yes, they can both make it. But if I had to pick one or the other, I want to go with Palomalu, but something in my gut just says Teamer is the one that's going to get picked. But yeah, what do you guys think of other guys on the bubble? Salute the numbers for pulling up. We got 7 in the chat. Spread the love around. Spread the link. Subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already, and hit that like on the way in. Salute to the entire chat. So guys, let's move it on. Those are the guys on the bubble, and let's talk about this Josh Jacobs situation. Now, here's the reason. I was talking about guys on the bubble, the numbers, but yeah, you're right. I would rather keep Palomalu. He is a future. I think they may move him to the practice squad. The thing is, Palomalu and Roger Teamer, they're fighting for that final safety position. So that is something to monitor tomorrow in the Cowboys game. Who's going to have a better game, Palomalu or Roger Teamer? You know what was crazy? The numbers. I wouldn't even be shocked if Palomalu has a good game and plays better than Teamer, because he has been playing lights out. I wouldn't say lights out, but he's been having some good games against the Niners and against the Rams. And if he just adds another, he has a great game against the Cowboys, adds that to this entire preseason and what we've been hearing from camp, how he's been, I believe he has 2-3 picks in training camp. Then the coaching staff may look at Palomalu and keep him. But I think he needs to have that one more game where he needs to ball out. He's hybrid. He's a hybrid guy. So, I would not be upset to go get to keep Palomalu and maybe let Teamer walk, because I like Palomalu. I like his game, and he's, like you said, he's versatile. And Patrick Graham, as we know, he loves versatile safeties and corners. He likes to plug him in at the linebacker position. He only uses 2 linebackers. He fills that third linebacker with the hybrid safety. Isaiah is the perfect fit, in my opinion, for Patrick Graham. And hopefully he does make the final 53. And I hope he does win that final spot for the safeties. But you guys, this came out yesterday. Let's talk about this Josh Jacobs situation. The Colts have rejected a trade offer for running back Jonathan Taylor by the Dolphins. Despite rejecting at least one trade offer, the two sides continue to engage in litigations. Another NFL team is also believed to have made a serious offer for Taylor to the Colts. As of Thursday morning, no team was believed to have met the Colts' request for a first-round and second-round draft pick. Now, people will then wonder, okay, how is this related to Josh Jacobs? Well, the thing is, guys, Jacobs and Taylor are the only running backs that are kind of giving their organization some help. Taylor is holding in. He's not practicing. He's just holding in. And he then also requested to be traded. Josh Jacobs is holding out, has not even signed his tag. But in 3 days, on August 28th, Josh Jacobs better report to the headquarters. And here's why. If Josh Jacobs refuses to play on the franchise tag or sign a 1-year deal, he doesn't get paid. If he doesn't sign the tag or sign a 1-year deal, then technically he isn't playing in the NFL, which means the Raiders would have his rights in 2024. So if the Raiders wanted to place the tag on him again, they could. Josh Jacobs doesn't have leverage with this current running back market, and he needs to realize that. If Josh Jacobs signs the tag and refuses to play, he doesn't get paid while he sits. If he returns week 10, you bench him for the remainder of the season and eat the $5 minimum and let him test free agency. The NFL is what have you done for me lately league. Jacobs' free agency value would be the lowest it's ever been in 2024. If Josh Jacobs doesn't want to throw his football career away, shout out to Sean Johnson for the wonderful insight. He says if Josh Jacobs doesn't want to throw his football career away and not lose out on millions this year or a future long-term deal report and sign the tag playing hardball, you will lose. There's no way you can win, Josh. There's no option to that path. It's just the way the NFL rules are set up. Tuesday is going to be so off the hook. 37 players will get cut by the Raiders as they drop down from 90 to 53. You have not only players that you have to worry about cutting and, rounding up to 53, but then you have Josh Jacobs in that situation that you have to get done before Monday. Give me your guys' thoughts. Give me your guys' opinions. Do you guys believe Josh Jacobs has leverage against the Raiders? I believe that they do not, or that he does not, because the Raiders have all the leverage. Here's why. When the Josh Jacobs and the, Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley, that news broke. They didn't sign their tags. They didn't reach a long-term deal. It broke that the NFL was disrespecting running backs, and these running backs, they went kind of like on a strike, and they had a Zoom meeting all together. Not too long after, keep with me, you guys, Saquon Barkley signs a 1-year deal. Tony Pollard signs his tag. All these other running backs are reporting to camp. Derrick Henry's still practicing. CMC is still practicing. All these running backs that came out, they're disrespecting the NFL, the running backs. They're looking at us. Najee Harris is still practicing. Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs are the only guys out of that group that, was against the running backs not getting paid. They're the only guys that are giving their organization hell. Everyone that said, hey, Jacobs, I got your back. Like Saquon said, I got your back. Whatever you get, I'm going based off your deal. No one has your back, Jacobs. They all went and got either new deals or they're practicing. They're betting on themselves to have another good season and try to get that deal in the future. And also, the thing is, the Raiders drafted for this, you guys. Like, let's not act like the Raiders did not draft the running backs that they wanted to try to prepare themselves for moving on from Josh Jacobs. In 2020, the 2022 offseason, the Raiders drafted two running backs. They drafted Zamir White. They drafted Britton Brown. They brought in Andrew Walters, a UDFA, and they also brought in Sincere McCormick, another UDFA. That is 4 rookie running backs that the Raiders brought in to camp. And this is with Josh Jacobs here. On top of that, Josh McDaniels starts Josh Jacobs in the Hall of Fame game, and then he sits him for the rest of the preseason. Then the regular season comes, and Josh Jacobs just lights the NFL. He just puts the NFL on notice, takes the NFL by storm, going on a 1,600-yard rushing campaign with 12 touchdowns and being the number 1 running back in the NFL. Well, there's a lot of factors that ties into this. Salute to Sean Johnson, to my guy. There's a lot of things that ties into this, you guys. The Raiders had a quarterback that could not move the offense and could not run the offense the way Josh McDaniels wanted it to be run. Therefore, the offense then ran through Josh Jacobs. I went back and watched I watched some games, and to look at the game film, I watched us against the Chargers week 13. I watched us against the Patriots week 15. I started watching us right when after that 2-7 start. And you know what I noticed compared to this preseason to last season, the play calling, you know what? The Kardashians out there, you guys are right. The play calling is different. Now, I will say this, you guys, it is not Josh McDaniels setting our former quarterback up. It is the fact that he knew I cannot win with this quarterback. My offense is not going to go through him, and my offense does not work that way. So for right now, I got to give it to my star running back, and next season, I'm going to bring in a guy that knows how to run this system. I'm going to draft a quarterback that is going to learn and play this system even better than the way I coach it. And here's what I'm leading with this. Josh Jacobs, the Raiders are ready to move on from you. If you don't come back, Ziegler and McDaniels, they're not going to care if you don't come back. They got Zamir White. They got Amir Abdullah. They got Brandon Bolden, Sincere McCormick. They got a list of running backs that they're scouting right now throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, and they're all ready to take your job. And this is going to be a Le'Veon Bell situation. You are going to hold out against the Raiders, and you are going to regret because Zamir White or these other running backs, the Raiders are still going to be winning football games without you being here. Why is that? You have a quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo that knows this system in and out. He had a good drive against the Rams. Yes, against backups. I get it. But you have a quarterback that knows this system. He knows how to run this system. Josh McDaniels, all he wanted was a quarterback that can run this system better than he can coach it. If it goes through Jimmy Garoppolo, Jacobs, it is not going to go through you. And what I don't understand is that you told the Raiders you did not want the offense to go through you. You wanted help. You wanted them to go get help for you. They went and got help for you, and you're still holding out. You still want to get paid like a hero when you're not going to be the hero this season. Even if you do come back on Monday, I wouldn't even be surprised if Josh McDaniels doesn't even start you against the Broncos. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh McDaniels gives Zamir White more touches than he gives you. Why? Because Zamir White has been working all offseason to get in NFL football shape. Not good shape, NFL football shape. He has bulked up. He's took on the hits. He's played in 2 preseason games. He may play in a third one, but Josh McDaniels said the starters are likely not going to play in the final preseason game. Zamir White is a question mark. Why? Because of the Josh Jacobs situation. Is Zamir White going to start? We don't know. Because is Josh Jacobs going to come back? We don't know. There is a lot of I don't knows in the Raiders organization with fans. Now, let's go to this. What if Josh Jacobs comes back? Well, if Josh Jacobs comes back, he gets back to camp, signs the deal. He gets $10.1 million guaranteed to his name. But is he going to have the same season as he had last season? No, you guys. Josh Jacobs will not have another season like he did last season. This is why when people are screaming, pay the man, pay the man, pay the man, I will say it time and time again. Raider Nation was not screaming for Josh Jacobs to get paid in the 2022 offseason until he went on a fire run. I give it all to Josh Jacobs. I give him all the flowers. He went on a run. He ran like a madman last season, but no one was screaming, pay Josh Jacobs, pay Josh Jacobs. Nobody was saying that until he had the season he had. So why change it now? Because of one season? I can remember a time when we paid a guy off of one season, off of a one good season. And you know what happened? We missed the playoffs the following year paying said guy. We missed the playoffs after that year. We missed the playoffs after that year. And then after that year. And then we finally got back to the playoffs. But then he was the reason we got eliminated from the playoffs. And then we missed the playoffs again. So do you guys pay a running back close to $15 million a season for one good season? Do you guarantee him $13, $14 million after one good season? Do you sign him for 5 years after one good season? You don't. You don't sign a running back after one good season. History shows it that after after they lead the season in rushing, they have a little drift in their in their stats. Derrick Henry, we know the run he went when he had 2,000 yards rushing back in 2020. 2021, he only played like 3-4 games. And Josh, that's another thing that I pointed out. Josh Jacobs rushed over 393, or he had 360 rushing attempts. He had close to 393 touches in total with catches. Josh Jacobs had close to 400 touches last season, you guys. He was already dealing with injury with the game against the Rams. He hurt his hand. He hurt his hand, had an injury, and now people want to pay him guaranteed money. Who's to say Josh Jacobs doesn't get hurt week 1 because of the beating that he took? And also, he hasn't been working in the offseason. He hasn't been getting in football shape, getting ready to take hits from grown men that are like 300-pound linemen. I haven't took it, but they look like they hurt. And he got to get himself in football shape. Not regular shape, football shape. That's the question that remains. Is Josh Jacobs ready to take those hits? Is he going to be the Josh Jacobs of last season? I don't think he will. Will he have a good season? I predict he's going to have 1,200 yards rushing, maybe 8 touchdowns, and he'll have significant loss in his touches with probably 287 total touches for him, because it is going to be a running back by committee, even with Jacobs in there. It's going to be a running back by committee with Josh Jacobs, Amir Abdullah, Zamir White, and Brandon Bolden. Or you can possibly put Damian Williams in there if he takes that spot. But other than that, you guys, it is going to be a running back by committee. And let's get into let's talk about Let's talk about Aiden O'Connell real quick, you guys. Let's talk about Aiden O'Connell. Shout out to Sean Johnson real quick. He said, Aiden O'Connell on Saturday. What if he finishes with this stat come Saturday? 17 for 24, 3 touchdown passes, 196 yards, 0 interceptions. Aiden O'Connell will finish the preseason with 43 out of 60, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, over 500 passing yards, and a quarterback rating over 120.0. That will be a preseason that Aiden O'Connell will never forget. But also, what does this mean for the Raiders? Well, this means that you can sit Aiden O'Connell for a year. You don't start him. I know a lot of people want to start Aiden O'Connell. If he has another sensational game, I know a lot of people are going to be screaming to the heavens, oh, start Aiden O'Connell week 1. Start Aiden O'Connell week 1. Guys, you don't want to throw the rookie into the fire. Playing against backups is different than playing against superstars. Is he balling out? Yes, he is balling out. I give him that. I'm not saying playing against backups is knocking on Aiden O'Connell's game. What I am saying is that he hasn't played a Chris Jones. He hasn't played a Joey Bosa. He hasn't played a Bradley Chubb. He hasn't played a Von Miller. He hasn't played against these superstar edge rushers and these defensive tackles. Give this guy a chance to learn on the sideline and watch how Jimmy Garoppolo operates the offense against a top defense. You got the Broncos and the Buffalo Bills that you are opening up against. What way to open up and learn how to carve defenses up than going against a Denver Broncos team that their defense is always good. They're always top 5, it seems like, every year. And then you got a Buffalo Bills team that they're going to make the playoffs again this year. So it is a wait and see at this point for Aiden O'Connell, you guys. And I am willing to be patient with Aiden O'Connell. Let him learn for a year. Let him learn for maybe 2 years. Let him come in his third year and take over that starting job. Aiden O'Connell is a guy I know a lot of the nation is excited about. I get it. I'm excited about him too. But you guys, let's not throw the rookie in the fire. Salute to Thor, my guy, representing Raider Nation Drinking Club. Shout out to Thor in the building. Also, Shout out to Sean Johnson for giving me this information. 1,184 NFL players are going to get cut on Tuesday. Then after the 16th, all go to practice squad. All 32 NFL teams, which is the 512 players, and teams of 672 players will be free agents to choose from. A lot of guys. That is a lot of numbers, a lot of math that I can't do. And there's a lot of rules that go in with the practice squad. So it is going to be interesting to see who we pick up. But yes, you guys, Aiden O'Connell has also led the Las Vegas Raiders to be the number one scoring offense in the preseason. The Raiders have scored. Shout out to Raiders Resistance on Instagram. The Las Vegas Raiders currently lead the league so far in preseason for the most points scored with 68 and have gave up the third fewest points, which is 21, according to Pro Football Focus. And you know what's crazy, you guys? I want to talk about this real quick because when have we heard this with the Raiders in the preseason? Even going back to last season with Josh McDaniels, we scored 27 points against the Jaguars. Let me actually pull up the Raiders 2022 preseason opponents. They scored 27 against the Jaguars, 26 against the Vikings, 15 against the Dolphins, and 23 against the Patriots. In the preseason, the Raiders have scored 34 points and 31 points. Or I think no. Let me see. It's more than that, right? Or am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me see. 34. Oh no, they scored 34 both times. So 34 and 34. So yes, 34 and 34. They scored 34 points in back-to-back weeks. If they put up 34 points again this week or anything more than that, and yeah, the numbers, that's where I'm at. Hopefully it translates into the regular season. I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo and the starters to come out there and you guys can't even put 21 points up there. Like, the backups played better than you the entire preseason. I know most people are like, well, they were going against backups and, not the starters. Well, the backups are going against backups. Raiders second stringers are going against second string. Third stringers going against third stringers. The starters are going against the starters. You guys should be better than the backups. And also for Jimmy Garoppolo, you got a guy in Aiden O'Connell that's kind of breathing on your neck a little bit here. Pause if necessary. And he looks like he could take your job this season. I wouldn't want it, but if Jimmy Garoppolo is not performing, if he gets injured, Aiden O'Connell is going to go in there. I believe Josh McDaniels, if this team goes 2-7 or 3-8, starting off the season, you bench Jimmy Garoppolo and you put in Aiden O'Connell in there. The season's already lost at that point. You got to try to see and get ready for the following season. Now, hopefully, we don't got to go through what we went last year. But I will say, if we see a complete shit show come week 1, I know a lot of people are going to be going for Aiden O'Connell, and they're going to want Josh McDaniels fired. They're going to want Jimmy Garoppolo out of here. I know I may be overreacting too if we were to lose, but we got to remember it's week 1. You got 16 more games to play after that. So it is a wait and see, you guys. Shout out to the numbers. Garoppolo has that experience in the postseason, and hopefully he can get us there, the numbers, but I don't want to think postseason just yet. You think Chargers could cut Khalil Mack? Now, the numbers, this is an interesting question because I was hearing, the Chargers are in salary cap hell, and that Khalil Mack will save them, I don't know how much money, but he will, if they were to cut him, they will save some money. And I know they're looking at, having to pay, their guys like Mike Williams. I think they're in and also being in the contract dispute with Austin Eckler also. I want to say yes, but I don't know what their situation is like. I only really know the Raiders that much. If I was going based off eye candy, based off what I was looking at, I think they're going to keep him. I think they're going to keep Khalil Mack. Maybe they rework his contract to try to work out it for their salary cap. If not, he may get released. And do the Raiders take a chance on him? Maybe. Shout out to Thor. He said, don't put that in the universe, bro. We are murdering the Broncos week 1, 31-10. You know what's funny, Thor? I have that. I have the Broncos only scoring 10 also, but I have the Raiders scoring more. I say 41-10. I'll say 41-10. I'm putting that in the universe, Thor. 41-10 is what the Raiders are going to score on the Broncos. They're going to score 41 points. We come out, we make a statement, and we knock the socks off this Broncos team. And I wanted to bring up another interesting point. Shout out to Sean Johnson. He sent me a YouTube link, and it was another Raiders channel talking about Aiden O'Connell. But he said that shout out to Mitch. He said Raiders were looking at Aiden O'Connell in November, and this was prior to even Derek Carr being benched. This was prior to Derek Carr being benched that the Raiders were scouting Aiden O'Connell. So Aiden O'Connell was on the Raiders board. And remember, guys, this is a guy that the Raiders traded up into the fourth round to go get. And from what I'm seeing, Aiden O'Connell has a lot of good things to like about him. Good accuracy, good poise, good pocket awareness, has zip on the ball that we have not seen in a while. He threads the needles in between defenders, and it's amazing to see. He's putting the ball in phenomenal places. I would like for him and the Trey Tucker connection to get a little bit better, but for the most part, Aiden O'Connell is having a really, really great preseason. But this dates back farther than what people think. It dates back to November. Sean Justice says, this tells me Derek Carr was on a 1-year prove-it year, or he was already going to be out of here. And they were going to cut Carr without even it affecting them because they already knew they were going to move on from him. Now, I know a lot of reports said that by week 3, they already knew that he was going to be out, that he was going to be cut. But I didn't know that during the season, Aiden O'Connell was already on the Raiders' radar before the combine happened, before the pro days happened. Aiden O'Connell was already on the Raiders' radar. So essentially, the Raiders picked up a quarterback that Josh McDaniels wanted and Dave Ziegler wanted. And right now, Aiden O'Connell is looking like he can run the Josh McDaniels offense. Is it learning like a new language? It is, but maybe not for Aiden. He is out there running this offense as if he played in it his entire life. Shout out to Sean Johnson for that. Also, let's get on to our last thing, and we're going to wrap it up right here. I seen 2 graphs, and I want to shout out the NFL media for whatever drugs they are on, and they are taking some good drugs. They are taking some really, really some good. I wish I could be working for NFL media. If I got paid millions of dollars to just put garbage on the screen and people will believe it, like, man, yes, please sign me. Like, where do I sign? So let's talk about it. The shout out to NFL Fox. The top offenses going into the 2023 NFL season. You got number 1, 49ers. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Number 4, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 5, Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 6, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 7, the New York Jets. Number 8, Dallas Cowboys. And number 9, the Los Angeles Chargers. Talk about the disrespect to our Las Vegas Raiders. I believe the Las Vegas Raiders, the 2023 season, they are going to be underdogs. And the Las Vegas Raiders will take the NFL by storm. And they don't care about being the top offense of the league or the top defense of the league. What they care about is punching you in the mouth and getting ready to win the football game. They are going to punch you in the mouth for 4 quarters, 60 minutes. They will score and score and score until that clock runs out. And also another graph. Shout out to FanDuel. This is why I never use them. They have the Raiders predicted to go 5-12. We also know CBS has predicted us to go 3-14 or 5-12 or 4-13. You guys, I'm not saying buy into the hype that the Raiders are going to have a winning season or they're going to have a playoff appearance, but I will say this Raiders team is not no 4-12 or 4-13 team. This Raiders team is not a 3-14 team. They're not a 5-12 team. I see at least 11 wins. I have them predicted at 11-6. And here's why. You're going to get Josh Jacobs back possibly next Monday. If you don't, you still can work with that. You have a running back by committee with Amir Abdullah. You may have Sincere at that point if Josh Jacobs doesn't come back. So he may not even go to the practice squad. He may be added to the 53. You got Zamir White, Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden, and then you have Jakob Johnson, and then you have Sincere McCormick. You got 5 backs on your roster. And I think we can work with that. And then you have a really good, I would even say great wide receiver core. Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer. You got Trey Tucker who could take the top off the defense. This is a really good offense. And then you have Jimmy Garoppolo who knows the system, of the ins and out of the system. You have a offensive line, and you have Illuminor. You got Greg Van Roten. You got Andre James, Colton Miller, and hopefully we can get Dylan Parham ready for week 1. I believe this could be a top 10 O-line once the middle of mid-season comes. This is going to be a top 10 O-line. And then as for the defense, I know there's a lot of questions for the defense, but you got Max Crosby, who I believe is going to be stepping up his game and taking that next level to be considered a defensive player of the year. I believe he could have 15+ sacks. Chandler Jones, I believe he may have 8, and Tyree Wilson will have 5. And your defensive line is going to create pressure. The linebacker groups is where I have the question. If they step up, that's good for us. If they don't, then this defense could be shaky. Jaquan Bennett is looking like he could be a shutdown corner. You pair him up with Marcus Peters. This defense is not going to make it easy on anybody. And I am excited to get this season started. And shout out to Canetown for bringing the negativity to Raiders Primos. We love the negativity that Canetown brings. And this is why Canetown ain't here. I'm just kidding. I love you, Canetown. All love, brother. All love. But you know what, Kane? I'm gonna flip that. 10-7 is gonna be the minimal. Could they go 7-10? Yes, but I'm just tired of losing, man. I take 9-8, bro. I take 9-8. Can we have a winning season and have some momentum going into the 2024 season? That's all I really want. Yeah, Raiders will have a good season. That's all I want, man. I'm trying to go to bed happy on some Sundays, or more Sundays than not. But yes, get your guys' comments, get your guys' questions. I'm gonna be on for a little bit more. We're gonna wrap this show up, but I want to give it to the nation. This is gonna be your guys' part of the show. Ask any questions, any comments that you want me to react to. Shoot them in the chat right now. I'm just going back, sum it up, you guys. Josh Jacobs, I believe he doesn't have any leverage with the Raiders. I believe the Raiders have all the leverage. They drafted the running backs for this situation in case Josh Jacobs didn't come back. And then even shout out to Sean Johnson. He brought up the final spot. You got Brandon Bolden, Damian Williams, Sincere McCormick. There's a lot of running backs fighting for that final spot. And I would be okay with going into the season running back by committee. But come Monday, August 28th, let's see what Josh Jacobs does. If he does come back, then, he comes back. And then, we move from there. If he comes back, hey, then, I got nothing to say. But if he does come back, I know a lot of people are going to be worried. But we're going to have to wait till Sunday, September 10th, to see what the Raiders look without Josh Jacobs. But like I said, you guys, based off, NFL media and me doing my own research, And shout out to Vinny B of the Las Vegas Review Journal. He does believe that Josh Jacobs is going to be back. It's just a time of when he will be back. It's not if he'll be back. It's when will he be back. And is he going to be back this Monday? Is he not going to? Is he going to be back the week prior to when the game starts? And there's a lot that we have to unpack with the Josh Jacobs situation. And then shout out also to again Sean Johnson. I didn't get to this part in the show. In case you guys didn't hear, the Raiders released tackle Brandon Parker with an injury settlement per Aaron Wilson. Now, I didn't think the Raiders had any leeway to release Brandon Parker, but I guess they settled on the injury settlement, which they were able to come to an agreement and had his release. Also, more on the Jacobs situation. Dave Ziegler and Champ Kelly, when asked if there's any update on Josh Jacobs, they quoted, "We have nothing to add. We're pushing forward." We have nothing to add. We're pushing forward. And that, and with that, you guys, I'm gonna keep my opinions about the Josh Jacobs situation. I think I squashed it. I killed the dead horse. Shout out to Orlando Padilla. He said, "Do you think the Raiders will beat KC this year?" I think that's what you meant, Orlando. And I think they do. I think we take one. I think we beat Kansas City in Las Vegas. I just believe we have it's the quarterback, Orlando. It's the quarterback. Kansas City was Derek Carr's kryptonite. Let's keep it real. Derek, out of the entire AFC West, Kansas City whooped on Derek Carr and the Raiders. Like the Chargers, when they beat us, it was like a close game. Like even week 1 of last year, it was 24-19, close game. The two times we play the first time we played the Kansas City Chiefs, it was a 30-29 game, very close game. But look before that, 48-9, 44-14. They were blowouts by Kansas City. And it went back to our quarterback play. He could not keep up with a guy like Patrick Mahomes. And then it also to speak about Mahomes, let's talk about our defense. Our defense has, the hype that is coming out with this defense with Marcus Peters, Jacorian Bennett, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, Tyree Wilson. The hype that is coming on with this defense, it has to translate into that Kansas City game. But luckily for us, Orlando, we'll know what this team is when we face Kansas City. I believe we play Kansas City. Let me go back. I believe it is week 6. We go against them. Let me see. I know we go against Kansas City, I think week 6 or week 7 when we first play them. Let me see. Oh, no, it's actually November, week 12. Week 12. So I was way off. I was way completely off. So week 12. So Orlando, we will know what this Raiders team, come week 12, we'll know where this Raiders team is at. Is this defense for real? Is this offense for real? So I think, Orlando, you may have that answer faster than when the game actually gets here. And I'll say that for all of Raider Nation. But yeah, I think the Raiders do take one. I think they do take that week 12 game. The week 16, I believe. Yes, the week 16 game. That is the one that worries me because it's in Kansas City. And Kansas City is a hard place to play anyway. If they do win, hey, they win. But I will say, I think we split with the Chiefs. We got my guy, Van City, in the building. Salute to you, Van City. I hope, speaking of cold weather, hope you get ready for it, my guy. But yeah, you guys, let's be on for a little bit longer. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, share the link around, and hit that bell to be notified when we drop content. But yes, get some more comments, get some more questions. We're gonna be on for probably another 10 minutes. And let's talk some more Raiders ball, you guys. This isn't just my show. This is a Raider Nation show. Let's talk some Raiders football. Let me see. Yeah. You know what, Van City? We may need a Christmas miracle, but I will say this. This is a different defense. And I think this is why I say we're going to split with Kansas City. This is a defense that is coming in hungry. Max Crosby has voiced his opinion that they're going to be them. They're going to be talking trash. They're going to be voicing their opinions. They're going to be, out there trash talking the offense. And they don't want to be calmed down. As I know, like, this is who we are. And this is a defense that has, in addition, Max Crosby, who's a trash talker. Now, I know, trash talking, you still got to play. But you got Marcus Peters and Max Crosby who will have that attitude to set the tone to the entire defense that we are going to be we are going to win our reps out here. Like, we are not going to be giving the quarterback time in the pocket to throw. We're not going to be blowing coverages. We come out here and we play Raider football the way it's supposed to be. Because, like I said, during the joint practices, Hondo Carpenter said it. The Raiders were leading, they were beating the Rams, and they were pissed off. They were not satisfied with their play. And I believe during the regular season, the Raiders have a standard. It is not an NFL standard. It is not what we Raider Nation, the standard we hold up for this team. It is not what NFL media holds for this team. It is what the Las Vegas Raiders hold for themselves. It is a standard that they want to meet week in and week out. They don't lower the standard. They don't lift the standard. They keep the standard right where it's at. And I believe that standard is to go out there and be the best defense that I believe they have the potential to be. Maybe not number one, but I'm saying, and when we're talking about Raiders defenses compared to like last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this can be probably the best defense we have seen in a long, long time. Let me get more into these comments. It says Vancouver is absolutely beautiful. One of the only places in the world that are both over 50% of mountains and ocean make up its landmass. That's really cool. Like, you know what, Van City, making me want to take a trip out there. If only like they had like maybe some like Canada games, that'd be dope. I know they used to do that. They used to have like some Canada games. They would, I think it would either be like, I remember seeing the Bills and the Seahawks playing at Rogers Center, the home to the Blue Jays. They played there. That'd be cool. Like the Raiders played up there. That'd be fire. I would definitely take a trip up there. But anyways, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here. It was love talking some football with you guys. You guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your Friday. And we may, you know what? Oh, we got Vancy says, Primos, here's my Raiders question. There is speculation floating around, and Zeke said it in his press yesterday. Do you think they actively shopping Josh to a team that is running back away from a Super Bowl? Now, Van City, I think they're probably. Oh yeah. Wasn't it 2018? I believe, Van City. Sorry to get off track, but wasn't it? It was like 2018, 2019, I believe. It was against the Packers, I believe, in preseason. I remember that. But to answer your question, Van City, I don't think that they are actively shopping Josh. I think teams are calling. They're listening in on the call, listening what they're offering. And I believe that Ziegler, if given the right deal, given what he wants for Josh Jacobs, he will take it. But I don't believe the Ziegler's like, hey, anybody want Josh Jacobs? I don't believe Ziegler is wanting to be like, hey, I want to trade Josh away because of what, the holdout and everything. I don't think that. I do believe Zeke wants to get a deal done. Of course, can't get a long-term deal done, but he wants to get Josh Jacobs back in the building, sign the tag, or sign him to a one-year deal. I believe, Van City, this front office is doing their due diligence and is also doing whatever is in their power to try to get Josh Jacobs back with the Raiders. The ball is in Josh Jacobs' court. Like, we're all waiting on Josh Jacobs. It is on Josh Jacobs at this point. It's not on Ziegler. It's not on McDaniels. It's not on Mark Davis. It is on Josh Jacobs whether he wants to be here or he doesn't. I do believe, though, they are listening in on calls. I just don't think that they're out letting the NFL know, like, hey, Josh Jacobs is on the trade market. No, I don't think that's what they're doing. But yeah, you guys, thank you for all the comments, all the questions, and thank you guys for pulling up. Hour in, 9 of you guys still rocking with me. Thank you guys, appreciate it so much. We do have an announcement coming in the coming weeks, so you guys are gonna have to stay tuned for that. We're probably not gonna announce it until like the week of week 1, probably the weekend of week 1. So stay tuned for that. I'm glad that we're getting a lot of support from Raider Nation, and Raiders Primos is nothing without the nation, is nothing without other guys coming in and helping us, giving us the guidance. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has helped Raiders Primos become what it is right now. Giving the news to the nation, talking Raiders football, just rocking with you guys every single day when we're on a live show, whether it's a live show or a short vid. You guys are active with us in the channel, and we're going to be active with you guys. And we appreciate you guys. We love, we love you guys. And we God bless you guys, man. Thank you guys. Like, I can't stress it enough how much we're grateful, me and Nate are, for the people that have, took us under their wing, and also to you guys for showing the support, for showing up to every live show, showing up to every Real Raiders Talk. We had memories, and we're going into our second regular season, you guys, and we're starting week 1 off with a bang. So stay tuned for that. We love you guys. Subscribe if you guys have not subscribed. Like, hit the bell, share the link around, you guys. We are 27 subscribers away from 400. So share the link around. Share like wildfire. We love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a blessed rest of your Friday. And let's go watch the Raiders kick the Cowgirls' ass tomorrow, Saturday night. And everyone in the chat, do it with me. Raiders!